everyone. It's really lovely to see so many pretty faces this Sunday morning. Thank you for giving us your precious time. Before I start and share something very, very precious to me, I want to ask a question from each of you. And you can just raise your hand, okay? Has any one of you ever held a secret for some time and then revealed it to family, close friends? Yeah, some of us. Yeah. And it's amazing, isn't it? Secrets. They really make up our world. And sometimes they also break up our world. So I want you to come with me to a library at the Institute of Management and Technology in Gaysi back in 2003. And as you open the door of the library, you see some people here and there. There are not too many people in the library. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. And over there in the corner, you see two women kissing each other. It's been about 2 minutes and they're at it. And one of those girls was me. This was me, 20-year-old, who had kissed a girl for the first time and loved it and never looked back. Let's go back a little bit in time. I grew up in a middle-class family, and I was the youngest among the 4 of us, and I was deeply pampered by my parents. I grew up as a tomboy, always wore pants and shirts and did all the crazy things. I had lots of friends, both boys and girls, and my parents and siblings were all, in a happy place about it. And when I was growing up, I realized that I was kind of very popular among girls. At the age of 7 and 8, I'd imagine running around trees with them. I'd imagine them running around the trees with me. I was a happy, queer childhood. Perfect, right? So let's go back to the library. Here I am kissing, and I'm like, my God, everything makes sense now. It should have been perfect, except it wasn't. I was really confused. I was like, what's happening? I can't talk about this to anybody. What if someone sees me right now? There were too many questions. I think when I look back now, I think it's because I had no reference of same-sex love or desire around me. Even in my immediate circle, be it friends, family, uncles, cousins, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a language for it. And even outside in the media, look at the books, the movies, there was just nothing, no representation, But I still did good. I pushed down all those thoughts, I had a great time with her. I was in my la land for 4 years. And then it happened, jo aksar hota hai, with your first love stories, they come to an end. She decided to leave me. She wanted to get married to a man. This happened back in 2007. And I was completely shattered. Because this person and this relationship was the most authentic, true thing that I'd known. I tried during college, during school. I tried being friends, dating men. But it just felt too forced. And here I was, ready to give my all in, and she wanted out. It wasn't a good space. 2 years later, accidentally one afternoon, I chanced upon Gaysi. And that was like hitting a magic lantern. It completely blew my mind. I still remember the about page read that this is a blog, which is sort of a safe space for people, Desi people who identify as lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the end to my dry spell of 2 years. It was fantastic. It completely changed. How I felt, how I viewed. And it's interesting, right? Because before then, I did not know about queer women in India. And that is to, say that I did not know of my own destiny. And what followed next was that I joined the Gaysi team. And we did many crazy things together. And at Gaysi, what was also already happening was that they were curating and collecting personal stories and narratives and figments and fragments and feelings and anything and everything that you need to make a space solid and safe for this alternate sexuality, this community, the LGBTQ community, and especially for queer women. And if I were to define Gaysi, I see Gaysi as a convergence of conversations, community, and a sense of belongingness. While I was in it, I learned that there are some stories you can tell and there are some stories you can't tell. And in the end, what matters is the stories you can tell and how that allows you to bear the stories you can't tell. It's a very simple strategy of survival. And that is what today is going to talk. We're going to talk about that. So how do we allow ourselves agency in the world instead of being overwhelmed by the things that are happening to us? We do that by writing, by telling what has happened to us, by giving it back to us instead of feeling powerless within it. And that is what Gaysi primarily did. With time, we realized that there was a hunger. It wasn't just enough to connect with people and have this common platform of shared stories and experiences. We wanted to reach out to a larger community. We realized that each narrative was different, each person was different. There were some stories that deserved, pages in the print, like you want to take it with you to the bed, put it under your pillow. There were some things which would look fantastic over a 6:9 screen. And in 2000, and going forward, we sort of diversified. So if someone were to ask me what Gaysi is, it started as a blog in 2008. And over the years, diversified into offline events, magazines. We even did a theater piece. I'll show you a glimpse of that. So in short, this is what Gaysi is. This is the blog. It has many things, like I mentioned, right? Personal stories, news, interviews. It's a great space for reimagination, for just a much larger community. And we recently released, not recently, but like in January, we released this animated video. So this was a part of finally a project by this animation designer, Priya. She's a student at NID. So like I was mentioning, right, that Gaysi is a space, right? We do podcasts, we do video casts, we do videos, we do graphic narratives, art, anything and everything. So it's sort of become a cultural hub and a melting point of everything that is queer. The zine journey started in 2011. This was the time when everybody was, moving online. And we decided, hey, we have a blog, we want to go offline. And people were like, have you gone mad? We got like really, really strange response from friends, it wasn't very encouraging at all. But we had this crazy romantic notion in our ideas, no, we want permanence, we want our queer stories to be there in libraries, in bookstores, we want people to be taking them when they're taking buses, traveling on metros. And we took this plunge. And as you may have seen, we have the copies there. It was a great journey. It's been a great journey. And a zine is like a beast, it has many parts to it. You have the voices of people, you have the curation, you have the editing, you have the visual language. And you may have seen that the visual language hasn't remained same at all. This was something which we had established, that each zine will be a new identity. It'll have a room to move freely. It'll have that sense of individualism that we as a queer people possess. This was zine 3, this was the black and white issue. This was a graphic anthology because we were really feeling this is the current issue. It's been really interesting, and while I have been responsible for editing, curating, reaching out to people, putting all things, our partner Karishma Durai, who was there at Gaysi, she is the visual designer of most of these issues, who designs the zine from end to end. She goes by the moniker Fishhead. She'd start with the visual language right at the end, when all the stories have come in, and she and I would be reading the stories in and out again and again, pulling out quotes, figuring out where to break, what font to use. Do you want it to be minimal? Do you want it to be bold? It was just a mad journey. But in the process, I think we both learned a lot. It was a very, very cohesive journey. And the reason I'm sharing all this with you is because I need you to know that I don't come from arts discipline. I did my master's in computers. I am a cybersecurity specialist. And I have no idea about editing, I have no idea about writing, making films, doing events, none of this. So this was all just following your passion. You want it, you don't have it, go create it. Put it all out there. And these are the inside pages. This is from Zine 1. As you can see that, it's just like evolving the design, the visual language, the zine 3, like simple text with like, hand sketched illustrations, art pieces. These are charcoal drawings by Sharmishtare where she's talking about masturbation and female pleasure. This is the current issue. A nice juxtapose of handwritten with, the automated and photography. It became a wonderful platform for all things. Personal narratives, art, graphic narratives, poems, illustrations, thoughts. And we realized that art is a very powerful and interesting medium and tool to talk about queer narratives, especially within the Indian society. It's so important to talk about sexuality, and sometimes language can be such a big obstacle, So art really allowed us to penetrate where words couldn't. This is part of Zine 5, but like I mentioned, that the Zine 4 was entirely dedicated to graphic narratives. We did a how-to guide on scissoring without making it very evocative. Photo essays on gender fluidity. This is a girl just having fun with toys and herself in her private space. And while we were doing all this and traveling with the zine to places, to cities, talking about people, the kind of work we are doing, we realized we were craving for a safe space. We wanted to do more. And a safe space was a space where we could just be, where queer people could just be, where you could engage in public display of affection, to dance, to hold, to kiss, to be seen, to be validated, are just as important and healthy for queer people as it is for heterosexual people. So we decided that we need to create events, and we created many events. These are the posters of this event called Dirty Talk. It's an open mic event where the known and the unknown share the stage together. You have the straight and the not so straight, the celebrities and the common folks, everybody coming together. And we decided that we also wanted to sort of, play with it, make it more creative. So one of the issues was based on women, called Women Nothing Dirty About It. So we spoke about everything, from periods to masturbation to, marriage to having a baby, the predicament. And this is 2014. This was post the 2013 judgment on IPC 377, where Supreme Court put the law back and said that all you gay people are criminals. Don't have gay sex. So, Is Pyar Ko Main Kya Naam Du, which was a great mix of stand-up acts, music, in response to the judgment. These are just snapshots from the events. These are posters of trivia night, where we have fun games. Sometimes it's on Star Wars, sometimes it's on music. And recently we started doing bar nights. These are called 2x2 bar nights. These are primarily social spaces. But वही कीड़ा है कि कुछ हटके भी करना है, कुछ और भी करना है. What do you mean कि just एक social space है, come and just hang out? And we said, no, okay, fine. There are so many conversations we have with our close friends in intimate groups, I think she's cute, is she gay, how do you spot a gay person? The conversations around consent, around negotiation, the conversations on kink, on desires. So we sort of brought those private conversations here. And we said that, in small intimate groups, first half an hour we'll chit chat and together create safe spaces. And this has been like really, really amazing experience, just meeting people and focusing more and more on creating spaces for women, because we all know that that's something that's like really lacking in today's time. These are again just some of the snapshots. And some of you may have heard, in 2015 we collaborated with this theatre group called Patchwork Ensemble and produced this theatre piece on the hidden culture of drag kings in India. So this was Sakshi's idea. I imagine everybody met. She's the founder of Gaysi. And one day I remember she said that, Priya, we see so many drag queens, they come to Dirty Talk, they come to trivia, you see them walking the Pride Parade, where are the drag kings? And they're like, yeah, something happened in Delhi, be a man for a day. I remember something happened in Bangalore, but these are like happening in, like very small glimpses here and there. But where are they? And we were just having this conversation, and somehow she found this script writer and this theatre piece group who was like totally kicked about the idea of doing a play on drag kings. And this is Pooja Swaroop. And this play is primarily a homage to Shami Kapoor. And the setup is where drag kings, right? It's all very normal. They have normalized this entire culture in Bombay, and they talk about that. We have a small snippet of it. So this is just a snippet of our journey, specifically my journey also at Gaysi. If in short I was to, give you guys 3 takeaways or share a couple of things that I learned, one of them would be to give all your best to the world and continue to develop on it. Continue to build on it, and you will develop great work. I know a lot of people in the design community especially suffer from this thing called perfection paralysis. Unless this meets my idea, I'm so not releasing it. No. Release work, as much work as possible. Looking at this, you realize that this was done by a handful of people. Of course, we collaborated with many people, but we were doing this outside of our 9 to 7 jobs. None of us were really full-time on Gaysi. And we kept on creating. There were a lot of goof-ups, there were a lot of things that didn't fly, a lot of things just failed and are just sitting still, in the corners of where we don't look. But keep creating work. Second thing is collaborate. Collaborate with a myriad of individuals and groups. Work with feminists, work with the defenders of male privilege, work with women, work with people from alternate sexualities, work with gender non-conforming people. Collaborate as much as you can. It really opens your mind. Do it pre bono if you have to. Do it for the love of your work. Collaborate with artists, collaborate with musicians, with illustrators, graphic designers, event organizers. Money is useful, but my experience at Gaysi also taught me that it's not the ultimate. It's the experience of trying new things, especially working with people whose sensibilities are just so different from you, whose experiences and lived realities are different from yours. It's amazing to do that. And third is that sex, sexuality, gender, it's a very important body of work. Sex and sexuality have become the conductor of social and political divisions. Just look all around you. The Romeo squads telling kiske saath ghumna hai, kiske saath nahi ghumna hai. The right wing affirming the sanctity of a family. Hum do, hamare do. What sensitivity is there, right? Like when you think about sex, it evokes, it arouses this moral anxiety, this confusion. There's so much written about it. But yet, we're still confused. People are still telling us how to do sex, how not to do sex, what are the different types of orgasms, so on and so forth. It's great, and it's something which is intersecting with us all the time. Everybody is working with it. The feminists are working with it, they're challenging it. The defenders of male privilege are working with it. The liberals, the conservationists, everybody is working with it. So get involved. Work with Gaysi, work with Agents of Ishq, work with Ladies Finger, any other space you find where this kind of work is happening, work. For me, I felt that these learnings were primarily my tools of survival. I went through something really not very pleasant a couple of months ago. It was an emotional breakdown. And to be most candid, I didn't think I would recover from it, because it really questioned the core values of who I am, what I feel, and what I love. And I was hurt, I was completely lost in this place. I even thought that I want to leave Gaysi. And I took a break for a period of 3 months. And in that gap, I became present to what really matters. And when I look back and I remember all the wonderful people we have collaborated with, the kind of strong bonds we've made, the exchange of creative energy, staying up till 2 in the morning, working on ideas, liking things, not like, it was an incredible journey. And it really pulled me out, like in no time. And I was like, Gaysi has become to mean the world. And I'm sure that in all our lives, we can find this something, whatever it may be. It could just be your work, it could be whatever. But just by pushing yourself, just by being creative, just by trying things that you don't know about. I mean, if I knew something, I'd give my 100%, I'd be successful. But just because I don't know something, I know I have to give my 300%. And that allows me to show up. And I think that is what allows us to really survive. And that is something that I want you to go back home with. Thank you. Peace.